Hi, everyone. Thanks for being here. We have head coach Mark Pavlik and junior outside hitter Brett Wildman with us after Penn State's 3-0 win in the EIVA semifinals over St. Francis. They will play George Mason for the EIVA title on Saturday at 7 o'clock Eastern time. We'll begin with Pav, opening thoughts on the match, and then we'll open the questions after that. Just use the raise your hand function on Zoom, and then I'll ask you to unmute and you can ask either Pav or Brett a question. So we'll begin with Pav.
Okay. I thought that probably 85% of the match, we played the way that we've been playing the second half of the season. I thought we were making some pretty good decisions offensively. I thought our serve was limiting the amount of times they could get the ball to their middles. And I thought defensively, we were playing some pretty tough defense. It was tough to put a ball down on us. Credit to St. Francis. We played them enough to know they never go away. We know at some point we're going to have to weather them being in the right place at the right time, and maybe the ball isn't necessarily as controlled, but we've got to react to it flying back, and I thought we did a good job of that. Set 3 was one of the oddest rhythm sets I think I've ever been part of, with the number of challenges and the overrules that occurred. And to our team's credit, I told them after the match that it didn't matter what was going on. They'd go back out and they just remained pretty steady throughout set 3. And eventually we got our separation and we're able to take it, first to 8, first to 16, first to 24, and we're able to wrap this thing up. So now on to Mason on Saturday.
Open to questions. Again, just use the raise your hand function and we'll go from there. We'll begin with Jonathan Bates, followed by Austin Groff.
Question for, I guess I'll go with Brett on this one. Obviously, the last match that you guys had against Mason, you lost in 5. Does that provide you any sort of extra fuel for them on Saturday?
I don't know if we need any more extra fuel than it's a EIVA championship and winner goes to NCAAs. I mean, I think that's behind us, and we didn't play our game that night, and we know that, and so we're just ready and excited to play on Saturday.
Go to Austin, followed by Zach Allen.
Great win today, Coach. I just want to ask about what it means to see your players hustling around, especially Brett. I saw that one time he came out the sidelines, had the bloody elbow. So what does it mean when you see your players hustling to make plays like that?
Well, I think that's the standard. I think that's what's expected, not just in the match tonight, but what we expect every day in the gym. And I'm glad that it's recognized, and because I think in the practice gym, when something like that happens, we time our trainer Mark Colapetro to see how quickly he can get it cleaned up. So we give him enough practice opportunities in practice to do his job. And like I said, I think that's the expectation. That's the standard. You go as hard as you can for as long as you can. And sometimes that means there's some blood, sweat, and tears left on the floor.
Zach Allen.
My question's for Brett. After a first round bye, did this match help you guys get into a rhythm ahead of the conference finals, and how so?
Yeah, so we did our best to kind of maintain in our rhythm. We kept the same schedule all of last week, played a inter squad where full on same type of warm up jerseys, competing against each other. And so kind of just tried to not skip a beat. And then, a real game kind of helps to get back in the rhythm of things.
Go to Grace.
Hi, y'all. So question for Coach. After pretty much practicing for a week straight, how do you mentally as a coach prepare to go into the semifinals and now going into the finals?
As a coach, I just hope I can find the right sideline to sit on. And I say that a little bit facetiously, but really, my work is done in practice. And, it's match time is the time for these guys to shine. and it's fun watching them. I don't know if I mentally prepare to go in. Just try to make sure that I listen to Colin and Ryan and try to make the best decisions. And, you know, if we have a chance where I can impact the game with a challenge request, try to pick those and try to be right on it. But no, there's not a whole lot of mental prep that I do to get ready for a match day race.
Go to Gordon, followed by Zach Allen.
Looking at the stats, you guys only had 7 aces and 9 service errors, but you seemed like you had a lot of pressure with your serve too, and had St. Francis in a lot of predictable situations. I'm assuming that was part of the game plan, but how effective was that, and how helpful was that? And both of you could answer that.
Yeah, I think that's been one of our strengths throughout the season. We're not necessarily looking for aces, and we certainly live with the errors. We're not real worried about the number of errors if we're keeping pressure on the server or on the passers. And when you talk about those 9 errors, you're talking about Sam, who had 5 of them, but he had 3 aces, and they couldn't handle balls that came off of his hand funny. So I think in the men's game right now, as it stands, you know, if you can keep service pressure on, if you can keep knocking the setter off the net, and you know, I think I look at the fact that they had 85 swings, but only 17 of them went to their middles, and I think a couple of those might have been overpasses. So I'll take limiting their offense, the other 68 swings, to just the pins, and I think our serving does that.
My question's for Brett again. You guys had a hitting percentage of .390. You had 8 kills of your own. How are you guys able to find open hitting lanes consistently throughout the match?
So it's really easy when one, our setter is doing a great job, and then 2, also our middles are doing a great job. So if the block is sitting in there with a great pass and they know that Cole has every single option, their block kind of has to respect our middle of the court attack. So, and then if he just throws it out to one of the pens, me, Fisher, Mihal, it's kind of easy from there. You just see the open lane and go after it.
Brett, another question for you. Mihal, team high 12 kills today, and I think he kind of showed in a few instances what he can do and what he can bring. What is that like, having obviously you and Fisher have been lighting it up all year, but to see Mihal step up in a big game like this and perform the way he did?
Yeah, I think it's we've known it all year. It's just now the stat sheet is just a little different. So, I mean, he's been performing extremely well all year. He's been a great teammate. It's fun to bring on freshmen. And at this point, our assistant coach, Colin, kind of mentioned he doesn't believe that there's freshmen at this point of the year. They've been through a whole season, so he knows what's going on. We know how to interact with him on the court. And tonight, he just had a great night. So, just happy for him.
Any additional questions for Coach Pavlik or Brett?
Yeah, I have one more.
Okay, go ahead.
It can be for either one. From a coach's or player's perspective, was there anything that you guys felt could have gone better?
No.
Wait, hold on. I'll take this one. So coach just holds us to extremely high standard. As you see, Mihal had the highest hitting percentage on the team, but at some point in the match, Pav wanted him to just hit the ball, in quote, but yet he tore it up. So I guess the answer is yes, we're always held to a higher standard, and that's what makes us great.